When I first learned about 3D printers, I thought they were for toys and trinkets. And I have made so much stuff for myself and even have my own business where I make tools and I sell them, and I also design things for people. In this video, what we're gonna be doing is designing a couple brackets for a 1988 S10 race truck. So this is actually for my buddy, and this is part of what I do with my business is I design things for weird applications or something you just can't find parts for. And I thought you guys would really enjoy seeing a little bit of the design process. So we're gonna be making a little bracket for what they call a street strip board. And I'll show you guys that in a little bit here, but I've already made a couple things for this, but let's go ahead and start designing up this bracket for the street strip board. So this truck is actually my buddy's, and I'm doing a lot of work to it, including wiring up the whole truck for the street strip board. And down here is the board. You can see he's got a full roll cage in this thing, but this street strip board has nowhere to sit. So what he's wanting to do is mount it to this roll cage back here. Well, little do you know, the street strip board is actually 3D printed. No, I did not make it, but somebody else is out there doing some 3D printing as well. But the goal is to get this mounted behind on that roll cage and have it sitting like this in there. So we got to get a couple dimensions from the street strip board, a couple dimensions from the roll cage, get them measured out, and then we'll start designing it in the CAD software. Yeah, I really should have designed this bracket before starting to wire everything up, but it is what it is, and now we got to deal with it. So we only need a couple of measurements. The first, we're going to be using a digital caliper, and the first measurement we need is the outside diameter of this roll cage tube, which is 41.54. So let's go ahead and get that. We got that. And now that we know the outside diameter of that, we need to measure out the distance of our holes. So we need the distance here and here, the distance here and here, and then the overall length of the board, length and width of it. So our distance here, and I'm just gonna go center to center of the holes. We have 85.5 for the center to center of our holes there. And the distance center to center here to here looks to be 9 1/16. Overall length, 9 1/2. Overall width, 4 5/8. So we're going to transfer all of those standard imperial measurements into metric, because for designing it's just so much easier, and most design softwares are automatically in metric systems. So that is all we need for our dimensions. Let's go ahead and jump into the CAD software and get this little bracket designed up and printed. And then you guys can see how it bolts up there. And I really hope that my measurements are done right, because getting in and out of this thing is not very easy. Okay, good old door slam. Old trucks. So jumping into Fusion 360 here, we have our notebook and we have our dimensions of what we need. We're gonna start to design this product. So what I'm gonna do first is just start off with a rough shape of it, how long, how wide we want it, stuff like that. Just a simple rectangle. We'll come up here and we'll start a new sketch on the bottom plane. We're gonna do a center point rectangle, which is gonna be found right here, center rectangle. And we know that our bracket here is 9 1/2 inches long and 4 5/8 inches wide. So we can't go too much bigger because we are limited on the print bed size of our printers, but we can go about 1/2 inch each way, and that should be more than good. So I'm gonna go with 10 inches here, and we are in millimeters, so we have to go ahead and hit that inches sign. And then for the width, let's see, 4 5/8. Let's add an inch. So we'll go 5 5/8 inches, and this will auto convert to millimeters. So we got 254 and 142. So nice. And now we're gonna be in millimeters. Much better. Well, for a little bit. So now that we have a center rectangle, our center of our axes here, the center of the CAD design is actually the center of the rectangle. So it's really nice. Once you start knowing all the little tricks, money. All right, so we have our rectangle made up here, and now we know the distance of our holes from top to bottom. The long way is 9 1/16, and this is gonna be another standard measurement. So I'm gonna do 9 1/16 of an inch, and then we know that is our total distance. So I'm gonna go ahead and divide that by 2 and put the inches sign here, and that should give us a measurement 115.094. Boom. So now we have our holes top to bottom measured out, and then our width of those holes was 86.5, and we will do the same thing, 86.5, but we will divide that by 2 Boom, got that 43.25. Same way over here, 43.25. Boom, so now we have our holes marked out where they need to be. The holes in our bracket are roughly about 6.35 millimeters, or roughly a 1/4 inch for standard. So we're gonna go a little bit bigger than that. We're gonna make them 5/16 or 8 millimeters. We're gonna put 4 circles here at 8 mil. So now our street strip board is gonna bolt right to this, a little bit oversized holes. So if we're off a little bit, no big deal. The holes will cover it up. Now, here is the fun part. How thick do we want this? I'm saying 6.25 millimeters, which is roughly a 1/4 inch. That should give it plenty of rigidity, plenty of strength. And now our street strip board will bolt right to this with these existing holes, but this is only part of it. Now what we need to do, we got the measurement for that tube. We're gonna build 2 little clamps on the back side of this, coming off where it can clamp to the pipe, and then we're gonna make 2 little brackets that clamp to the back side of that pipe as well. So what we're gonna do is basically bolt this to it, clamp it from the back side, and then we have basically a mounting plate that we can mount our street strip board to. Create another sketch on the bottom of this, and I'd like to have this rotated. So we know this is our dead center here, and the overall length of this piece is 254 millimeters. So to our center is 127. What I'm gonna do is take 127 divided by 2, and that'll put us right in the center of the 2 ends. And then we'll do the same coming off this side, 63.5. Now we're gonna build our brackets and our clamps off of this post. So roughly what I do a lot when I'm building something from scratch is I look at it with my fingers. I'm like, yeah, that looks good. Take my micrometer, measure it out. I think, 25 mil is plenty thick for these. So 25 mil, we're gonna use a center point rectangle one more time from the center of this point here. We're gonna go, like we said, 25 mil wide. Roll cage is 41.5 millimeters. So we need at least a circle that's 41.5. So let's make this thing, let's see, we can play with this later. 41.5, 40, let's go 55 for the width. 25 by 55. And then for now, we're gonna extrude both of these up by like 75 millimeters. It's too much, but for now it's gonna work. And we're gonna make sketches on this side here. So we know we need a circle that is 41.54 in our diameter. This is our center line here, and we have this total length, which is 75 millimeters. I'm gonna jump to not quite the center, but I want to see where I have a little bit over 41. So let's see, 40. Let's go about 50 millimeters up from the bottom, and then we'll make our circle, which will be 41.54. So 41.54. Boom, you can see that is roughly the size of our pipe, and now we're going to be building clamps and everything to go along with it. So I'm actually going to bring this down to like 30 and see how that looks. Maybe even 25, and just give a check on how much material we have here. 5 mil. So I'm actually going to bring this up to 30. Make that 10 mil gap here, which is going to give us a ton of strength. Yeah, so 10 mil exact, roughly 10 mil. That'll give us plenty of strength to make these clamps work. And then we're going to take E, extrude, boom. We got our holes. So that we got our 2 little standoffs coming up here. We're going to be using the split body tool, which I just made a line in the dead center of the circle. We're going to hit split body. We're going to select the body, and then our cutting tool will be this line that I added. You can see it makes that nice red circle. We'll go ahead and hit OK. And now, if we jump over here, we actually have 2 separate parts. You can see. So now these little top pieces are our clamps, and then the bottom piece is the part we need. Now that we have that, I'm actually going to be using nut certs for this. So I'm going to design up the holes for the nut certs, and I'll show you guys what those are right now. So whenever you're 3D printing, you don't necessarily want to just go into the plastic with the threads. You want to have something like this nut cert that makes the threads really nice and strong. So we basically just have to design the size of the hole we need, where these are going to nicely sit in there. These actually set in there with heat, and where they are strong enough where they're not going to pull out. So from a previous design I have, I know that the holes for our nut certs have to be 7 millimeters wide. I'm going to quickly throw 4 7 mil holes on here and get that set up. Sometimes there's definitely faster ways to do things. So right there where I just popped all those holes in there, I really should have done that a step previously. I can always roll the timeline back, but it would have been definitely easier to do that before I cut these into faces and different bodies. Now it just I had to make 4 sketches for that. So there's always a more efficient way, but for now that works. It just makes a little bit of an ugly and congested sketch, but not that big of a deal. One problem we have, if we were just to take this and clamp this directly to the pipe, it's not going to work because it's the same exact outside diameter of the pipe. We have to take these and offset all of these faces, and offset just means push them back some. Get these out of the way. We will offset these faces by about 2 or 3 millimeters. Let's go -3. And that when we bring this back in, you can see there's now a gap between here. So that should give us plenty of room to clamp down. We've got our basic shape now. Now it's time to do some structural stuff like adding fillets or chamfers to these ends, because we don't want anything called a stress concentration, which is just where all of the force likes to concentrate. We want this design to be nice and strong, and it just takes a second to add that stuff in. And then we're gonna do a little bit of beautification up top. We could leave these top clamps just the way they are, but let's make some nice little changes to make these things look all the much better. You can see that cleaned up those top clamps quite a bit. That is looking so much nicer, so much better, way cleaner. And then I think for the edges, let's do something nice. I'm thinking, do we want to round these off or do we want to chamfer them? Let's just see what they look like rounded real quick. Rounded it is. I'm already sold. I don't even got to check the chamfer. And that's pretty much it. And that's pretty much our finished bracket there. We got one thing to do, which is, of course, slap our logo on there. Who made that bracket? Nice and clean. Look at that. Go ahead and hit render. It looks something just like that. So let's go ahead and get the printer fired up and then this thing printed. We're gonna use PETG carbon fiber. And then, yeah, I'm not sure how long it's gonna take, but it shouldn't be too bad. We've got our threaded inserts and our nuts in place. You can see those are nice and recessed in there. It's time to see if this thing will mount up and work functionally. So basically, yep, that's a captive nut, but it's not quite captive. There is a bunch of glue on the face. I'm gonna wipe that off and then try to mount this thing up and see how it works. Work on cars, they said. It will be fun, they said. Oh, there's a nut right in my face. Oh! Oh no! Pause. Where'd that thing go? It wasn't even a nut, too. That was extra sus. It was a bolt. Did I mount it right side up? Is my logo straight or is it not? I'd be very curious. I get out of this uncomfortable position. I did. Alright. I should have known, but you never know. Sometimes I'd be doing things. Ugh. Give it the shake, rattle, roll test. Oh. Uh-oh. That ain't going nowhere. All right, time for the board. And I can't get the board through there now because I clamped the thing we made in the way. Can I? May I? Hey there, Delilah. What's it like in New York City? I'm itchy. I'm very itchy. Come back, reach around, pause. Just a second. Oh, it's what you do to me. Oh, it's cross-threading. Ooh, am I gonna get copyright striked? Yes, queen. Yes. Yes. Look at that. Oh boy. And yes, sorry for the lighting here. She is rock solid. Nice, clean, everything. Once the dash goes on, you'll just be able to open up the glove box, and there's your street strip board. Nice, cleanly mounted, secured to the beautiful roll cage.
just like that. You guys saw how easy it is to design and make something just like this.
So there you guys have it. In about 30 minutes of design work, we managed to make a super effective and reasonable way to hold that street strip board in place. And this really was just your sign. If you've been on the edge about getting a 3D printer from your shop, this video is a sign to go out and get one. You guys are not going to regret it. There are so many things that I've made custom for my shop, people's vehicles, people's bikes, all that kind of stuff, for my house even, that you just can't find anywhere else. And there's so many use cases for a 3D printer, especially if you have a shop. So one of the most useful tools I've ever had in the shop. I've got 3 of them now and they are just absolutely awesome. But so I just wanted to show you guys that video. Now it is back to the normal scheduling. I got to get this order packed up, shipped out the door, and then I will catch you guys in the next video. Thank you very much for watching.